It's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Monday, January 9th. So the moon is going to be in Leo all day. We will see it go void, of course, at 8:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be locking into Virgo energy early January 10th. So there are 12 different aspects here today. 9 of them involve the moon. The moon in Leo giving us a little bit of a spark, a little bit of a lighter vibe to work with, especially compared to the last couple of days with that full moon in Cancer energy. We are feeling a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, a little bit more bold, brave, courageous to tackle some of the issues and problems that we definitely got illuminated to while the full moon was at its peak. So the moon right out of the gate is going to make a very awkward interaction with Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information and communication, who of course is retrograde in Capricorn energy. This is our heart and our head not really being on the same page. Of course, Mercury retrograde in Capricorn energy is focused looking back, reflecting, trying to pick apart the past in order to answer some of the questions that we have about our present so that we can start planning for our future. The moon in Leo wants to keep things light and bright, but that Capricorn energy is very heavy, very weighted, and we are likely not going to feel like our heart and our head are on the same page. The moon squares Uranus, which is another not so nice aspect, a square getting into the boxing ring, fighting it out. Now, normally Uranus being the great awakener likes to shock us, likes to awe us, likes to kind of give us aha moments. And in this particular interaction, we're feeling a little bit cold, a little bit rigid, like we need to detach, step back, observe. And not saying that those observations aren't going to lead to some powerful aha moments, but right now, the moon, our heart space, is just trying to keep things light and fluffy, a little bit playful. And this Uranian energy, because it is retrograde in Taurus energy, is very focused on where it is that we're blocked, where it is that we can't open our head space up, our heart space up, where it is that we're resistant to some of the changes that we know we need to make. Now, out of a square, we are going to feel that tension, feel that conflict, but it should lead us to an aha moment on what absolutely needs to change. It's just not going to feel so good while we kind of sort those thoughts and feelings out. Venus is going to semi-square Neptune. A semi-square is a little bit of a tension point, not a major one, but enough to absolutely feel the uncomfortability rise within us. And here is where we're kind of seeing the disconnect between what it is that we want to see, what it is that we're actually seeing. Now, Venus being about love and worth and value and happiness and pleasure and joy. In Aquarius energy, she's pushing the boundaries of her comfort zone. She's exploring, if you will, experimenting with what it's like to be a little bit more independent, to dance to the beat of her own drum, to kind of take a good look at what it is that she's established in her life as far as routines, relationships, money matters go, and really kind of push the boundaries on whether or not these particular foundations are still making her happy. Neptune, the higher octave of Venus, is in Pisces energy, its place of power. Now, here's the thing. We might want to put the rose-colored glasses on our face. Why? Because Neptune in Pisces doesn't really want to deal with reality. But you have to deal with reality in order to understand where it is that you're uncomfortable, where it is that changes need to be made in order to actually problem solve. But the Neptune energy just wants us to be in love with love, wants us to find the silver linings, wants everything to be happy-go-lucky, peachy keen. Well, we can't have that right now. We have to get real with our lives right now. And in order to do that, we have to smack the rose-colored glasses off of our face, take a good look at life as it is, and not the way that we wished it would be. The moon is going to help us out by making a very, very comfortable aspect with Neptune shortly after this uncomfortability aspect comes up between Venus and Neptune. And the moon is going to bring a light, fluffy feeling to the not so nice feels that we were just sitting in. The moon in Leo is trying to hype us up and say, you know what? You're bold, you're brave, you're courageous. You can deal with life. You can take a good look at life circumstances right now, and we can make it better. Now, this Neptune energy, this is our soul self. This is our intuition. This is our imagination. And with the Leo energy that, wants to make a good story out of everything, we're definitely tapping into new levels of creative solutions that we are going to come up with when we get real, when we get raw, when we get vulnerable, and take a good look at our lives, at the circumstances in it, at the details that are alive and well for what they are and not for what we wish that they would be. The moon is going to make an aspect with Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, abundance, beliefs, blessings. Jupiter is in Aries energy, really pushing the boundaries for us to kind of put ourselves out there, for us to reinvent ourselves, for us to go out in the world and create opportunities for us to grow and us to reach new levels of evolution, of abundance, and of enlightenment. The moon interacting with Jupiter in this way is a little bit of a clash, I would say, just because A, we're not supported by the universe to go out and actually make things happen at this particular moment. And B, we have big feels. We can get overly dramatic here. We can get a little bit, I'm going to say, overzealous with what it is that we actually want for ourselves, that we're actually thinking, that we're actually feeling, that we actually think that we're capable of. Now, I'm not trying to limit you. I'm not trying to put a ceiling, if you will, on your heart, on your passions, on your desires. I'm just saying that we have a tendency to overdo it, to bite off more than we can chew, to actually kind of dream too big of a dream right now at this particular moment. Now, Mercury is going to bump into Mars in a very positive way. Keep in mind, both of them are retrograde. Both of them are preparing to come out of their retrogrades and go direct. Mars on the 12th, Mercury on the 18th. Mercury being retrograde in Capricorn is very low and slow, very serious, very somber, very practical. Mars retrograde in Gemini is just edging us to want to take action, to make a move, to commit to an idea, to communicate our thoughts, our feelings, our motivations, our passions, our desires. And with Mercury and Mars coming together right now, internally speaking, there's a lot going on in our mental plane. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of projects, a lot of goals. And Mars at this particular point in time is actually inspired, actually getting excited, actually reigniting the spark, the flame, the fire within us. We are rearing to go. We are ready for that green light, go ahead to actually take action, but we're not there yet. It means that we still have a little bit of thinking, a little bit of processing, a little bit of strategizing to do before we actually go direct. Venus is going to trine, which is a beautiful energy with Mars. And this is going to, A, give us an opportunity to balance the masculine and feminine energies that we all have within us. B, really get clear on what it is that we're excited about, what it is that new passions and desires are pushing us to actually put ourselves out there to pursue. This could be a very lucky time in love, could be a very lucky time in money. And our creativity is really kind of peaking at this point. We got a lot going on in our inner realm, really pushing the boundaries of what it is that we're going to come up with as far as solutions go, as far as a new path goes, as far as new ideas, goals, objectives go. This is a beautiful vibe, a beautiful energy, and we should all be feeling it and all feel a little bit more balanced in our feminine and masculine energies. Where do we assert ourselves? Where do we put ourselves out there? Where do we sit back and let the universe flow to us what it is that we need? The moon is going to make a little bit of an awkward interaction with the sun. So the moon is in Leo, the sun is in Capricorn. The moon, typically speaking, is our emotions, is our unconscious self, is kind of connected to the past. The sun, of course, is our ego, what it is that we need to shine a bright light on, what it is that we have to pursue. The sun being in Capricorn, we're thinking long term, we're thinking about building new elements and foundations, we're thinking about new roles and responsibilities. The moon in Leo, we are kind of looking a little bit back when we should be a little bit more present in this particular point in time in the calendar. But what we're doing here is we're looking back in order to rewrite scenarios and situations and circumstances that still kind of weigh very heavily on our heart space. We need to rewrite the narrative in a better way. We need to look back, see what it is that we're moving away from. We need to look ahead, see what it is that we want to move closer to. And then what we're left with is this present moment in the here and now where we get a choice on where we're going to pour our time and energy into in order to tie up the loose ends of the past, clean this beautiful, beautiful, fresh, clean slate for us to work upon to start building the elements of our future. The moon is going to make a positive interaction with Mercury. We started out with a not so nice interaction here today between these two. This is a positive one, which means that our heart and our head, we're having a conversation. We're getting on the same page. We're finally in agreement. We're feeling like the ideas that we are processing, that we're able to actually be inspired and motivated and determined enough to actually bring them to life. This is a good vibe. The moon goes ahead, bumps into Mars, who is retrograde in Gemini. This is kind of fueling the fire. This is new levels of inspiration, new levels of motivation, new levels of determination for us to actually set our sights on something, to be excited about it, and to prepare to engage the physical body when Mars goes direct to actually go out in the world and take action in this new pursuit of happiness, in this new pursuit of passion and desire. The moon goes ahead, bumps into Neptune in a not so nice way. This is when the fears and the doubts and the insecurities come crawling back in, just when we're getting hyped up about something, excited about something, passionate about something. That negative narrative comes in and tries to talk us out of all of the reasons of why we should just stay where we're at, not make a move, just settle for our current circumstances. Now, do not run, do not hide, do not look to numb. We want to be bold, we want to be brave. This moon in Leo is going to give us that energy to do that in order to actually move through our thoughts, move through our emotions, and override the not so nice ones into something powerful, into something inspiring, into something motivated. The last aspect that we have here today is the moon in Leo, sitting across from completely opposing Saturn, the Lord of Karma, in Aquarian energy. What we get here is a little bit of a weight, a little bit of a heaviness, because Mr. Saturn likes to remind us of our to-do list, of our roles, of our responsibilities, what we should be doing, what we think other people would want us to do. Well, the moon in Leo doesn't really care about that. We want to listen to ourselves. We want to do what is right for us. We want to stand in our individual, unique power, and we want to do what will make us happy, regardless of the impact on other people. So we are going to have this little bit of tug of war where we want to be free to decide for ourselves what is going to make us the happiest. But Mr. Saturn's over there saying, okay, but you got to realize that your actions do have a consequence and an impact on the people around you. Of course, balance is the key. We have to factor in, of course, what we want, what we need, what we desire. And yes, think far enough ahead to realize the impact of our choices, of our decisions, of our actions on other people, and how that would potentially make them react for us kind of going off, abandoning the group, abandoning the team in order to kind of push our own motives, our own passions, our own desires. Now, this is going to feel heavy. It is going to feel weighted. We are going to have a lot of heart activations because of this, but just stand true and work through the heaviness, work through the weight, and still align with your heart space, reminding yourself what makes you happy, what it is that makes you excited, and what it is that you actually want to pursue.